Hi, Paul here from Takroc Music. Today we're going to do a review on a 9-part series of some really cool vintage guitar pedals that I found. I'm sitting in a Tim Hortons parking lot waiting to meet somebody. I purchased some guitar pedals off of Marketplace, and it's by a company called Dot on Shaft. It was a Canadian company back in 2009 to 2011. They're closed now, but these pedals are very unique and I can't find anything about them anywhere on the internet, so it should be kind of fun. I've got 9 pedals, so hopefully the deal goes well, and then I'll start doing some reviews. Okay, so I just did the deal in the parking lot. It's kind of funny. You know, 2 cars pull up, walk out, some money exchanges hands, and then a box is handed over, so it was always kind of funny that way. But anyway, I got the 9 pedals here, which is awesome. Really nice guy, and we've got all these pedals here that we can check out, so I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, so it's Dot on Shaft is the name of the company. They're no longer around now. It's a Canadian company, and here's just a preview of one of the pedals. So we have 9 pedals, and we're going to go through a little bit of history of the company, and then we'll do a demo on each of these pedals and see what they sound like. Looking at the pedal, it's nice and solid metal, very, very well made, very simple controls, just the 3 across here. So we're going to give this a try. We're going to plug it in, see how it works, and we'll go from there. The one thing I did notice is this is rebranded. It's a copy of a Dafon pedal, and there's a few others that are similar to this, so it's going to be very close to that. So rebranding basically is a company that makes a product and sells it as their own, but then they will put your own business logos on it. So in this case, we got Dot on Shaft, and they also made up their own box branding. So they tailor it to this, and then they sell it as their own. I don't know if there's been any modifications inside. I haven't opened it up, but I thought it'd be fun to give this a try, and we'll just go through all 9 here, and we'll just give them all a try and see how they sound. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so we're going to test with a dry signal first. Okay, so now we're going to turn it on, and we're going to put everything at 0. Let's see what that sounds like. Not too much of a difference. Gives it a little bit of color, I can hear that. So let's turn the resonance and the depth up halfway. And that gives it some color, but there's no modulation yet, or no phasing modulation. So let's turn that up to halfway and see what we get. Hear a little bit, but not a lot. So let's turn that up a little bit more on the rate. See if we can get some kind of phasing modulation here. So now you can hear a little bit of modulation. Not much, but let's turn up a touch more. Still can't really hear much. Turn up just a touch more. Now we can start hearing a bit of the modulation. So that's a fairly tight rate. There's only tiny bit left to turn up before you can actually hear anything. So you can hear that nicely. So let's turn up the res button. Let's just take the depth all the way up. So now you can really hear the twang and the depth. So that would be a very distinct sound. I don't know if you'd want it quite that crazy unless you're looking for that specific sound, but if we turn that down just a bit on the rate, so you can get not too bad of a sound. It's very limited, I think, on what you can get. I think it's very limited on the type of sounds that you can get here, but this setting right here is not too bad. Turn that off. So with a little bit of fine tuning, I think you can get probably one or two sounds that you like. And of course you can just crank everything up to full and just go crazy and get a very unique sound. So there you have it. Phaser dot unshaft guitars. Thanks for listening. A lot of times YouTube will bring you my videos even though you haven't subscribed. If you like what you see, please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell. Hi, Paul from Takroc Music. Today we're going to continue our series on our vintage guitar pedals. Today we're going to be looking at the Super Chorus. 3 simple controls: speed, width, and delay time. And again, nice solid case. So let's hook it up into Logic Pro and see what it sounds like. Okay, so now we're looking at the Super Chorus from Dot on Shelf. So we're going to listen to the dry signal first. Get everything set up here. Okay, so here's the dry signal. Okay, we have everything turned counterclockwise, turn the power on. That gives a little bit of color to the signal. Okay, so let's turn the speed up a little bit. And the width. And the delay time. Hear a little bit of an effect, so let's turn everything up to 12 o'clock, halfway. Now we can hear the effect and it sounds pretty good. the width all the way up. Let's turn the speed all the way up. Okay, so we've got everything turned up full, and usually with chorus pedals you get that kind of a weird warbly sound. It almost sounds flat, so that doesn't really quite work unless that's what you're looking for in a song. But if you pull back the delay a little bit, that has a nice twangy sound. I really like that. Yeah, so that sounds really good. I can get some pretty good sounds out of that super coarse. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of the pedal. A lot of times YouTube will bring you my videos even though you haven't subscribed. If you like what you see, please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell. Hi, Paul from Takroc Music. Today we're going to continue our vintage guitar pedal demos. Today we're going to be looking at the distortion pedal. 3 controls: level, tone, and distance or distribution. Not sure what that means. Anyway, we're going to hook it up in the Logic Pro and give it a try. Alright, so we're going to play with the dry signal first. Okay, now we're going to turn on the pedal. We've got the level set for the same volume. We've got the tone and the distortion all the way counterclockwise. So you can hear a little bit of distortion. So I'm going to bring the tone to the middle, halfway. Hear a little bit of distortion there. It's very subtle and I like that. So that's not too bad if you wanted just a subtle bit of distortion. So let's turn the distortion up to halfway here. So again, very subtle, but nice. It has a really nice sound to it. So turn this all the way up here. in, and it's still a pretty good sound. I like it. So bring there. So we're going to take this 3/4 of the way up now for the distortion. That's a nice subtle distortion, not too heavy, so I really like that. And we're going to crank that right up to the top. This one's a little bit tighter, and I like this one a little bit better than the heavy metal. Thanks for listening. Hi, Paul from Takroc Music. Today we're going to continue our demos of our vintage guitar pedals that we picked up a while ago, and today we're going to be looking at the heavy metal 3 controls: level, tone, and distortion. So we're going to hook it up into Logic Pro and see what it sounds like. Okay, so we're going to get started here. So we're going to play the dry signal. Okay, so now we're going to hit the heavy metal, so let's turn it on. So we have the tone and the distortion right all the way turned down to the left. So we've got the tone at the most bass sound, and the distortion is right down, and the slight level just to give us some volume. Okay, so before we turn up the distortion, let's play with the tone. So turn the tone up. That gives it a really nice sound. I like that. Turn that up even a bit more. That sounds a little bit tinny to me, but whatever. That's probably, you can get that sound. That sounds a little bit thin to me, but still possible good sound to be used. So now we're going to start turning up the distortion. So right away I can hear some background noise, so I'm going to put a gate on here just to take care of that, a little bit of noise. So let's give that a try. A really good sound. I like that. So that's only a tiny bit of distortion, so let's turn that up halfway here, see how that sounds. So again, if we turn, a lot of interference there. Sounds a little thin to me, so I kind of like the middle part right there. So let's crank up the distortion even more. That sound is nice and powerful, pulls in really good. So let's just go full on distortion. Seems to be kind of like that in the middle. If we go too far back, it sounds a little muffled to me. Gets lost on the little high end there, so I think somewhere in the middle sounds pretty good there for the tone. I think that sounds pretty good. This is my favorite so far. Lots of distortion there. The level, again, this is turned down quite low, so this will give a whole lot of volume, but I had to turn it down just so I didn't clip everything out. So saying for me, the tone in the middle, adjust the level to the right decibels so it's not too loud, and then just crank the distortion right up and it seems to work really well. And if you're doing some kind of rock and roll heavy metal song, this will sound really good. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hi, Paul from Takroc Music. Today we're going to continue our demo of our vintage guitar pedals we picked up a while ago. And today we're going to be looking at the flanger. 3 simple controls. Let's hook it up into Logic Pro and give it a try. Okay, so we're going to give this a try just with the pedal off. Dry signal. Okay, so now we're going to turn the pedal on, and we're going to keep everything at 0. So again, it colors the sound a little bit. You can hear a bit of that, a bit of the pedal. So we're just going to turn this up to halfway now. there's a nice shimmer there for sure. That's very subtle, but that sounds really good. I like that. So now we're going to turn the rate up to about 3/4. Hear a little bit of a difference there. Bring up the res. That's a really nice sound. I like that. So let's bring the depth up to the 3/4 mark. Here, that sounds good too. So now I'll just go put everything on full. See what kind of sound we get there. That's a little crazy. I think that's a little too much for what you'd need unless you wanted that specific sound. But let's turn the rate down a bit and see if we can get a decent sound. That's kind of cool. And let's bring the res down a bit. That could be an interesting sound to use if you timed it right in the song. I like that. Now we can bring the depth back a bit. Dry, and then our settings. So that's pretty good. So overall, it's not too bad of a sound. You can get some pretty neat sounds out of this flanger too. All right, so there we go. Thanks for listening. Hi, Paul from Takroc Music. Today we're going to continue our vintage guitar pedal demos from the lot that I bought a little while ago. Today we're going to be looking at the Overdrive pedal. So let's hook it up into Logic Pro and see what it sounds like. Okay, so now we're going to be doing the Overdrive pedal. And we've got it turned off right now. Here's the dry signal. Okay, so now we're going to turn the power on. And we've got this drive and the tone all the way to the left counterclockwise. Colors it a little bit, so let's turn the tone to the middle. Turn the tone all the way up. So that just adjusts the tone and everything. So let's bring Bring in the drive now. We'll take it halfway. Drive all the way up. Here's the dry signal. So this is a very subtle overdrive sound. It's not too aggressive, but it sounds with a nice little bit of grit and dirt on there, so I like the sound of that. Also need to, I'm just going to put in a gate here. That helps take all that the feedback out. Yeah, that sounds really good. I really like that one too. So we've got the overdrive in full, we've got the tone somewhere in the middle, and then the levels matching for the tone for the pedal. So we can play with the distortion. We've got the gate kicking in there, but we can match it so that it sounds pretty similar. Just a touch. Just playing around with the gate here. Yeah, so overall I really like this pedal. It's a very subtle overdrive sound. It's not too aggressive, so it can be used in a lot of different songs and scenarios. So yeah, I like this one too. It's quite nice. Thanks for listening. Hi, Paul from Takroc Music. Today we're going to continue our vintage guitar pedal demos. Today we're going to be looking at the Equalizer from Dot On Shaft Guitars. So let's hook it up into Logic Pro and see what it sounds like. Okay, today we're going to be looking at the Dot On Shelf Equalizer, the E20GE. So first we'll listen to the dry signal. Now. Possibilities are endless with this pedal. Do all kinds of stuff with this and get or really fine tune the tone that you want. So the actual the adjustments here actually increase the volume, so you have to kind of play around with your output when you're doing this. Kind of fun to play. So yeah, so pedal works really well. Limitless possibilities on what you can play with this. So a lot of fun with that. So this is pretty much standard to all of the other similar chorus pedals or similar equalizer pedals. It works really good. So just mess around with all the different settings and have fun. So let's turn these up. Turn that there. Play around with whatever settings, lots of stuff that you can do. And even just in the middle, it tends to give it a nice feel. There's a little more clarity with that in, so yeah, so it even enhances that a little bit. So yeah, thanks for watching. This was the Equalizer dot on shelf pedal. Let me know what you think. Hi, Paul from Takroc Music. Today we're going to continue our demos of our vintage guitar pedals we picked up a little while ago. Today we're going to be looking at the Compressor. 3 simple controls made by Dot On Shaft Guitars. Let's hook it up into Logic Pro, see what it sounds like. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the Compressor from Dot On Shelf pedals. So we're going to turn to the dry signal, turn everything to the left here and do the dry signal first. Okay, so we're going to turn this on and we're going to turn the level. Let's turn everything halfway. Let's see what that does for us. As you can hear, I'm playing really hard and aggressively with the compressor on, and it evens it out really nicely. And then here it is without the same pattern. And then the sustain. So the sustain keeps the signal going, so turn that up. So the middle compressor level evens out the playing for you. So depending on how aggressively you play. So that adds a really nice depth to the rhythm. So like that, and let's try a bit of lead. Yeah, so the compressor evens it out quite nicely. Yeah, it brings up some nice clarity, so I really like that. So it's a pretty good pedal too. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hi, Paul from Takroc Music. Today we're going to continue our series on our vintage guitar pedals that we picked up a while ago from the Dot on Shaft Guitar Company. Today we're going to be looking at the delay. Again, 3 simple controls: delay, repeat, and depth, and good solid case. So let's hook it up into Logic Pro and see what it sounds like. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the delay pedal. So here's the dry signal. Okay, so we're going to turn the pedal on. So we've got everything counterclockwise to the left. And there's no effect at all. So we're going to turn up the delay to about 1/4. And the repeat to 1/4. Depth to 1/4. You can hear just an ever so slight sort of an echoey delay there. Yeah. Very tight and very quick. So let's turn the delay up a little bit more. Now you can hear it starting to repeat itself. So we'll hit the repeat up to halfway. Now you can hear the repeat. Turn up the depth. Now you can start hearing the effects here. It sounds pretty good. So let's see if we can dial this in. So that sounds really good. I really like that. So let's turn the delay all the way up just for fun. See what that sounds like. So we got a very fast repeat, or sorry, we get the delay up nice and high. Let's turn the repeat up full just for fun. Okay, so if we have that up too high, then it's just going to repeat and keep going. Alright, so I guess the trick here is you want to keep it subtle, but enough to give it some nice sound. So let's... That's got a really cool sound. I like that. Okay, so this is a lot of fun. So yeah, this pedal seems fairly responsive. The Overdrive pedals and everything that I've reviewed in the past videos, they tend to not do a whole lot till you get up to the upper end, but this one seems to have quite a bit of effect even in the lower points, so that's really good. That sounds good. So this delay pedal's not too bad at all. I can see using this in a couple of our songs for sure. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. A lot of times YouTube will bring you my videos even though you haven't subscribed. If you like what you see, please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell.